Welcome to Vision Profiles Podcast. Join us, dedicated Apple Vision Pro users, as we dive into everything from hardware and software to the apps and the latest updates in the world of Apple Vision Pro. I'm Marty, a faculty member at a Midwest university, podcaster, and an Apple product fan.
And I'm Eric Bolden. I work in IT, but my interest is in finding interesting ways to share content. Currently, photography of plants, birds, and panoramic sequences.
And I am Dave Ginsburg, the host of In Touch with iOS podcast. I am passionate about technology, especially Apple, and I use it in a real-world experience as a 27-year IT professional veteran and an iPhone subject matter expert. I learn new things about the Vision Pro every day.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad we're all here together. Daniel, unfortunately, messaged me and said he couldn't make it. We hope to see him next time we get an opportunity to have him. Just a reminder, you can follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/Vision Profiles, Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, or you can catch the video later on YouTube at our YouTube channel, again, youtube.com/@Vision Profiles, or the audio on any podcatcher service that you have. I've been doing Vision Pro notes, but was not ready for what happened today in terms of news. We got another beta update. Did either of you notice this or started or uploaded it?
I did not realize it until just before the show started. I mean, I've already updated my Mac and iPhone and iPad are cooking right now, but I did not see that for the Vision Pro. But I guess it's out, huh?
Yeah, I took a nap this afternoon after working on a podcast and doing some actual work that they pay me for, and woke up from the nap, and sure enough, I got a notice from Reddit saying, "Hey, the new phone books are in. And went downstairs, had a cup of coffee, started loading it on my phone, and then came upstairs, and while I was cooking dinner, set it up to load on my Vision Pro. So I have it loaded on the Vision Pro. The news is good and bad. It's good if you haven't loaded it yet because you won't notice a change. The bad news is there's nothing new to speak of. Yeah. And so I ran the previous beta documentation and the current beta documentation through, and even ChatGPT couldn't find anything that was significant in terms of changes. No Jupyter. I checked that out because once I got the headset back on, I wanted to look at some of the apps that we were talking about. Still no Jupyter. I'm disappointed. I want to see that Jupyter environment, and I want to see the dark spot in Jupyter grow and little, monoliths coming out of it, like in 2010. Anyways, the news on the update is not much. It was released about a week ago. The 5 was released about a week ago, and then we got 6 today. And, I have build numbers. You can see them in the show notes. Apple has not documented anything that's a user-facing feature to call out for Beta 6 versus Beta 5. It looks just like stability and bug fixes. It surprised me that 6 came out so soon, and it wasn't like a RC version or it wasn't a final version. It was just 6. So there must have been something of significance they needed to fix with the bugs to proceed forward. But no noticeable changes. As of today, and we're speaking on Monday, August 11th, when the beta came out, Apple's release page shows Xcode 26 Beta 5 from August 5th. So they haven't updated the Xcode, which they do to match the new betas for developers to work with. So you're not seeing, and the Apple Store Connect release notes were last updated beta 4. So you can expect this to catch up later. And for testers like the three of us are, we're not developers. Really, if you're hunting for new features, you're not going to find them. Skip it. I don't want to say skip the excitement. Just don't get excited about it. Go ahead and do the update when you can if you're running the developer beta. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so when I looked at this, go ahead, Dave.
Oh, okay. They did say there was a new accessibility section that was added to the App Store product pages that highlights accessibility features within apps and games. So there was some that is not an earth-shattering type of new feature. Good to call that out for an accessibility feature.
Yeah, and I'm not sure is that new or is that just something, because the problem with the developer notes is they often put in stuff from previous betas.
It says new. So I mean, the other thing is there's now nutrition, quote unquote nutrition labels. Gives users a new way to learn if the app will be accessible to them before they download it. That's good, because I'm glad to see that, because there are plenty of people out there, vision impaired, hearing impaired, and such, that they should have this nutrition label to tell them, is this app going to be of any worth to them, especially if they buy it.
Yeah.
I did notice on Mac OS and the iOS, the initial screens had changed. It's become much more polished on here are some of the new features of 26, and that was a difference from before. So they kind of polished that kind of opening screens.
Yeah, and I when I saw that on my phone, I thought, now is this the release candidate that I'm looking at? No. Just because those pop-up initial screens were so, it felt like, I was like, did I just reload the whole operating system in a way that I have to do a complete setup? Because when you see those things, sometimes it's good news, and sometimes it means you've got to put your Apple ID in and all of that stuff to make it happen. And that was not the case. So a little bit of trick there. Anything else to say on this, guys?
I think we're
okay. All right.
Nothing exciting.
Yeah, nothing exciting. How about immersive video? New immersive video, that's kind of the latest bit of news. And Eric, you had trouble getting it.
I'm still waiting for it to get here. It's trying. It's downloading. So
I did watch it.
You did watch it. Okay.
I did.
What's your impression?
It was, I went back and watched all 4. The rhinos, the sharks.
Mm-hmm.
The third one. It was the third one. And then the orangutan was the 4th episode. Real close up, a lot of good things. Giving some good simulation of how they care for the orangutans and in the real life forest, or whatever you call it, jungle. I couldn't get the name there, but yeah. Again, it was. I wasn't highly impressed, because I went back and watched the other 3, and there were some, like the rhinos. I forgot about the rhino jumping off.
Yeah.
So I actually did all 4. It was kind of cool. I did that.
I
watched all 4.
Are you telling me that the orangutans in this were not close enough for you?
They weren't close enough for me. I wanted them to jump at me and reach out. No, they were fine. It was kind of immersive. I mean, because it looks like it's filmed the same way. Because now you look up and then you start seeing the black kind of round border at the top, and then the edges when you look around.
Yep. And when you look up, Dave, I can't hear your audio.
Oh, I know you can't. I was moving away from my mic. So, sorry about that. But when I was looking up, I say next to the mic, and you saw it under there, and then on the left and right edges.
Yeah.
They filmed them pretty much the same way. But no, it was good. It was about almost 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I just wish we had some more stuff. I mean, we haven't had anything exciting since Metallica, honestly. I want to see more. I mean, I know when the F1 movies out of the theaters will probably remakes. Hopefully.
Yeah. There is. I enjoyed it, and I didn't go back and look at the previous ones. Yeah. The initial shot where the the orangutan is right in your face.
He's in my face.
Turns out to be the alpha. Turns out to be the alpha male, as you find out in the storyline. Interesting story about, again, they're going to protected area that is for basically orangutan babies that have, for whatever reason, been separated or abandoned by their mothers. And so they're trying to protect them and reintroduce them and train them how to be an orangutan in the site. So it's pretty cool. I'll tell you, I did more looking left and right and up and down in this video than I have in other immersives. With the rhinos or the elephants coming right at you, I'm pretty much looking center screen and watching that. With this, because what you would have a whole group of orangutans. What is a group of orangutans called? Come on, somebody use the Google machine. What is a pack of orangutans? No, that's like wolves. But a group it's a herd.
Congress.
No. A Congress?
A Congress.
Okay. We have a show title, A Congress of Orangutans. When they did the shots with many of the orangutans in the scene, they would interact and they'd get stuff and then they'd go off to the periphery. And so I was turning to watch that process. And you initially got that when they're telling the story of the mother teaching the baby how to climb up heights on a tree. And the mother moves out of frame if you're just looking forward and you're focusing on the baby. And then what I had to do was look up to see, hey, yeah, the mother's up there. So it was an interesting, much more interesting and immersive experience for me. Not because I don't think it was filmed necessarily and better, but because I was paying attention to things differently than I had in the previous immersion kinds of experiences.
I would agree. I mean, now that you say it, I do remember that. And then Eric was right. It's called a Congress. I just used ChatGPT. Orangutans. He is right. I should ask ChatGPT, are you sure that's correct? So no, I agree with you. Overall, just like any of the other immersive videos, it was great. There was some really good, really good shots. And, they do a really good job with those videos. I mean, like I said, I got back and experienced all four. So, again.
Yeah, there is some cool stuff. There needs to be more. There have been, and we have a couple of articles that report that we're on the upswing with that type of material, that we're going to be able to see more as it comes out and as it's available. So my only disappointment was there was no feces thrown at the camera. That would have been a 3D experience right there. Although there's a couple of times the animals tried to interact with the camera or the cameraman in some ways. But I wanted to see some 3D feces flying at the screen, but it didn't happen. What should we do next? Earnings report. I think some of the stories we have carry over from the previous week because I wasn't available to do a show. Everybody knows about the earnings report. There were some people who asked questions to Tim that, come on, he's not going to answer that stuff. I guess you have to ask those questions. But yeah, are you going to have a cheaper version of Vision Pro come out soon? Those kinds of things that he's not going to answer. But he did seem to have a commitment to spatial computing and indicated that. What is he going to say? No, we're giving up on it. We're dropping it like a Google. He is, yeah, he is. He says he's going to stay with it. So, anything else from the different earnings profiles or stories?
No, I think pretty much covered it. It's been covered to death. And, just basically, Apple did really well this last quarter. So
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
yeah. I saw somebody arguing how Apple is sliding. It's like you got a 10% overall increase from the last year's quarter on this. I don't think that's sliding. We do have an article here that came out in 9 to 5 Mac. Vision Pro 2 is coming soon with 3 new upgrades expected. And they're predicting an M4 or M5 chip. They're also predicting a new strap. Surprise, surprise. And an upgraded neural engine for AI and more. Any of this stuff sound appealing to you?
I mean, it's not a deal breaker. I mean, yeah, it's going to be nice to have upgraded processors, but is it going to be worth upgrading from us having the current model? I mean, I know you will, Marty, but well, you do. You will too, Eric. I may hold back, but I mean, it's nice to see it. They're looking at updating the processors. They tend to do that always with Macs, and that happens quite a bit. So,
yeah, what surprised me was the neural network. Was the neural engine, for AI, that an upgrade in that. And that kind of was an extra cherry on top. Okay, so we're going to get a processor. We're going to get a new head strap, which is the least exciting piece for me. And then the increase in neural engine, the new neural engine, I thought was like, oh, I didn't think of that, if that's really going to happen. And this article is basically made up of a battle between Mark Gurman and Ming-Chi Kuo. One says M4, the other one says M5. Yeah, so
they're going to put them in the ring.
Cage match.
Battle. Cage match. Now, a lot of stuff he talked about, Mark Gurman, was also about that AI with Apple's going to expand, especially Siri. Then they say if they pull it off, maybe it'll happen. So that's really all really excitement was for this week.
A couple of articles in here that I will throw in the chat, or we'll throw in the show notes, is a discussion on CNET about the future beyond MetaQuest. And Vision Pro is coming, and of course, it's coming in glasses form. So what will VR look like then? And it's a good discussion amongst those. They're not trying to compare the two devices, which I think is good, but they're just talking about all the people that are getting into the market. Meta's next glasses could bring a neural band that changes the game. I don't know how a neural band changes the game. It just seems like an external controller of sorts. And frankly, having it on your wrist to be able to move your wrist for things, you might as well have an external controller that you're using your fingers to do than trying to control it through wrist movements. And they talk about a bunch of other different types of like Muhan and other glasses that are coming out. A article that's kind of and I think we've seen these before, VR Headset Showdown 2025, MetaQuest 3 Quest Pro and versus Apple Vision Pro versus HTC Vive XR Elite. And they did a previous. This was from FTS2, and they did a previous article that we featured, but it was only, I think, MetaQuest and Apple in it. So they put this article that expands the discussion on it with the different platforms that are out there. So for your information, the previous article was a very detailed article, and for those who want to jump in deep with it, this is a good article to look at in terms of comparisons with these headsets. I think, this would be something that Daniel's really fascinated by, so I wish he was here to kind of talk about it. And then a nice, okay, Eric, I'm sorry.
Oh, nothing. I was just agreeing.
Yeah. And then a nice article that is Apple Vision Pro long-term review. The future is bright, and talks about the changes that are occurring on with 26 and the changes that have previously occurred with 2.4. And the difference is a little bit between Meta and the Vision Pro. So, guys, what do you think? Just any thoughts on the larger changes or these new headsets or what the future is going to be like with them?
Well, I'm going to be interested to see your article you're coming up about Samsung. I want to see when they get theirs out to see how the discussion goes with how that device is, and is it a true competitor? I mean, I would hope it is. But I don't know if you want to get to that one, but I'd just like to see the competition and just finally get something that is a competition to the Vision Pro compared to Meta.
Yeah, the Samsung article is the same Samsung article in a way that we've heard of before. Mm-hmm. They tell us all the wonderful things they're going to do, and we have no release date, we have no costs, we have things like that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute, and I'll put that up for viewers. Interesting research. Next up is Apple Vision Pro could watch how you breathe to help with mindfulness.
That's a good idea.
It's a newly granted patent.
Got that kind of on the Apple Watch, don't we?
Yeah. Yes, you do. There are different breathing methods because I'm surrounded by counseling trainees who think, my solution to your problem is to sit here and make you meditate. Have you tried that? And so there are different types of breathing methods. There are cyclic breathing. There's box breathing. So when I think about this, if you could, and whenever I get a meditation app, and I look at a lot of them, I always look at what the breathing pattern is. Is this a cyclic breathing pattern, or is this a box breathing pattern? Box meaning, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So each 4 sides of the box has that pattern in it for it. So I'm always curious about what breathing method they're doing. Comments on this were, it's interesting if you look at the patent in it, the patent seems to be for a pair of glasses, not for a Vision Pro or what we would think a Vision Pro would be. I'm sure it would work on a Vision Pro. But this newly granted patent, it really looks like glasses that the object is wearing. And for those of you, if you're not watching the video, there's this image of a bald guy, nothing against bald guys, with a pair of glasses on, and the caption on the image, because the guy has just got a flat mouth, He doesn't look happy. In fact, the edges of his lips are turned down a little bit. And the caption says he could be happier about wearing Apple glasses. Has absolutely nothing to do,
Yeah.
but it is pretty funny. And then the second image does have something that looks more goggle like.
And they took away his mouth entirely.
Yeah, and
The emotion is all gone.
and the caption says that's closer to the Apple Vision Pro we know today. So somebody who's writing this article for Apple Insider is editorializing on captions, which I think is great, which is a lot of fun. So, Dave, we talked about Moohan Project. What is Project Moohan? It's Google's answer to Vision Pro. Google and Samsung with Qualcomm Snapdragon and Gen 2 chipset acting as the beating heart for it. It's going to be mixed reality, Gemini, AI integration, hand-eye, and voice tracking. And then it talks a little bit about Google's history. I really liked the Google Glass when I had it. Nerdy fashion statement that lets you check the weather and look like a cyborg. This is a Medium. This comes from a Medium article. And no, Project Moohan is rumored to enter the market with a valuation of over $3 billion.
Wow.
So, wow.
Google.
Yeah. Any thoughts, folks?
Hopefully they ship soon. The anticipation is killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got an extra 3,000? Selling AVP at Moohan release date announce is a comment from Anna World. This shipping, this happening. You got to come up with a shorter chat room name if you want me to hit it, or I'm going to have to spend time. A new world shipping. A new world is happening. Okay, a new world is happening. My apologies.
Yeah, it works. A new world's happening.
Yeah, it does. Fits. Put underscores between those words if you're going to do that, please. Selling AVP at Moohan release date announcement. I don't know what you mean by that. Selling.
I think you got plenty of time to not worry about selling it. Now, the one thing I will say is, if there's a new Apple Vision Pro, then hopefully there will be a lot more devices on the used market at a lower price. So even more people will join.
You mean the VisionOS platform is what you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. And if somebody wants to jump ship and go to the whatever
the Google
version,
Samsung thing, yeah.
The Samsung version, and sell off their Vision Pro at a low price, I'm all for it. Let's get more people into this world and get a whole lot more lower cost devices out there, and then well, we've got more people to play with it.
Samsung bets on Android XR to rival Apple's $3,500 Vision Pro. They had to get the price in.
Always.
But they don't mention Moohan's price because none of this has been released yet.
It won't be any more than $3,600, I'm sure.
Yeah. And there are folks who don't like to talk about rumors or don't like to write articles or don't like to share articles that are rumors. But really, some of this stuff is just dredging up the same content that we've seen before with no new information. And that's because the businesses that are creating these products are not, they want to control the information as it comes out, like the price, the release date, those kinds of things. They don't want to let any speculation on. And recently there's been some reports that Tim Cook, with some release of stuff and meeting notes and things like that have gotten out into the environment, that they're clamping down even more at Apple related to release of information. So again, another Ultimate Headset Showdown article, and I would just show this to you, but also tell you all of these links are going to be in the show notes. You can find them as part of the information with the video version of the show or the audio version of the podcast. Just look in for the notes, and you'll get all the links to the articles that we talk about. So, I've got like 5 articles on competition, and then long-term review, which I mentioned, The Future Looks Bright. Let's go to patents. No, let's go to DaVinci Resolve.
Maybe we just talk about patents.
Yeah. DaVinci Resolve has come out, and Resolve 2.01 is bringing comprehensive Apple immersive video workflow systems to their platform. That makes Resolve the first professional NLE to offer complete end-to-end production capabilities for Apple Vision Pro content. So that's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
So we should have more immersive movies soon. Probably by February of next year, maybe.
Yeah, well, they need to bring the price down on those damn cameras.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. They just have to get it to the point where you can rent one.
Yeah, that would be a service.
But I mean, that's what they did with all of the other different cameras out there that are super expensive. They set it up so you can rent it. Then you have to really plan your shots tightly and hope the weather works.
Would you rent one, Eric?
I don't have a story yet or a crew. But given that, yeah, it's and I haven't even asked what the price would be.
Yeah, well, having a story is probably important. We can send you to Borneo if you want to photograph orangutans, a congress of orangutans. But yeah,
just go to Washington D.C. and film there.
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, Congress of Orangutans, that would work. See, using that title is going to have kind of a dual meaning with that. The thing is, I don't think in sort of a video way of thinking. So even if I had access to one of these cameras, I wouldn't know what to shoot. And I wouldn't know what story I'd want to roam around and do. Because I feel sometimes, even when I'm taking pictures, I'm feeling over intrusive. And so to say, I want to go shoot this ceremony or whatever with 3D, with an immersive video spatial format, it would still feel really invasive for me.
This is why I like plants.
Yeah, plants don't care.
Right up in their you can get right up in their leaves, and they're not.
They don't have a lot to say either. So I mean, that's the problem.
Yeah. No.
Sometimes they have a toxic response, but other than that, they're pretty good. So, have either of you done recent immersive video, like using your phones? Little shots.
I haven't. Give me a place to do it. I mean, that's the thing.
I go out to eat and film breakfast.
We had a 4th of July festival here. Heritage Festival is what they call it downtown. And I turned my camera on a couple of times and shot spatial. There wasn't a lot going on that I felt was of visual interest to anybody. So I don't know how I'd piece that together.
The thing I found interesting is, so I've been doing a bunch of spatial stills, and with the beta OS on the phone, after you film your spatial still and look at it, and maybe bring it back to the Vision Pro and look at it, then press the make it immersive button, and it recalculates or redoes the image and changes it. So I'm kind of looking forward to maybe a new version of Final Cut Pro, or something that once it's got better processing, being able to automatically kind of fine tune it. So it was able to take some of the pieces that stuck out of the frame too much because you were too close, and pushes them back in a little bit. And the depth seemed a little bit smoother. Um, Fewer cases where it was disorienting, or I felt some jiggling of the images not being kind of locked together. So they seem to be putting some effort into smoothing out the image to make it look better and feel more comfortable. And
It's
that's
silly.
been like last 2 betas that I've seen that.
Yeah, it's silly of me to sit here and talk about this like this video is stored on my camera, because it's in my iPhotos. It's also stored on my Vision Pro, so I should go in and look at it on my Vision
Yeah.
Pro, and I keep forgetting that. Now, Vision Pro doesn't have an app for Final Cut.
No, but when you're looking at it for like the stills, you can still hit the button to make it immersive, even if it's already immersive. And
Yeah,
it tweaks it. So
yeah.
that was just kind of interesting.
Having a on-device video editing program would seal the deal. And DaVinci has that in part already.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. Let's move on to some of the more, I don't want to say technical, but let's talk about Apple patent describes Vision Pro haptic feedback using AirPods. And so the idea is your AirPods. Eric, I can hear you laughing. I'm looking at the screen, but I can't. Go ahead. What's going on?
Yeah. I'm just picturing my ears going off. That's all. I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm not sure about this. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to distract. Go ahead with this story.
No, pick it up.
So there are moments where haptic feedback is just really, really, really nice. When they had the F1 preview video, and you got haptic feedback as it was driving around, that was really neat holding the phone. I'm really not entirely sure if I want to feel something whacking my ears as the feedback.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I want to feel this. I really want to feel the sound in my ear canals, the environment. I want to hear the splatter of that feces being thrown by the orangutan and feel it in my ears like it's just hit my head.
Oh, yeah, no, please, no.
That's gross.
There's so many ways that this could go bad. But I do think, if I'm watching a movie where there's an explosion, I hear it, but I can also feel it to a degree. They're also showing some things related to keyboard feedback. And I think that's part of it, is that if you're typing in a virtual keyboard, that you get some haptic feedback in your ear. Now, I don't know why the audio wouldn't be enough for me, but to have something jiggle my ear to tell me that I've just touched a key seems a little bit different. But yeah, and then there's an article in Apple Insider that kind of breaks down the patent or what they think the patent is about. And apparently, the person who wrote this article for Apple Insider didn't have a sense of humor for their captions.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is low hanging fruit for someone with a sense of humor.
Now, I must say with the AirPods, I am just always been thoroughly impressed about how Apple has done with these AirPods. You know, with the hearing aid ability when it comes to that, and then and now this with the haptic feedback and a Vision Pro, and then you know, I mean, it's just amazing the technology what they've come up with these AirPods. I mean, I absolutely love these AirPods. I wouldn't want to go with anything else at this point. I mean, I have so many headsets in my room here; it's crazy. You know, I probably use the AirPods probably 90% of the time. I mean, I even bought the Shocks, and you know, I don't use them that often either. It just blows my mind just looking at these patents. I mean, to have this type of technology that can work with the Vision Pro, to be able to get that actual feedback in your ears, it's just mind-boggling. It's great.
This is another patent that Dave. Thanks for talking about the patent. It's not just the ears, but now Vision Pro could take commands just by reading your lips, and the idea that you have cameras that will see this stuff. I mean, it sees this stuff. We know that because when you set up your persona, you have to do the smile and the closed smile and the open smile. So it's able to record all of that.
That could be really cool.
Okay, they're back to silly captions. The Apple Vision Pro pass-through feature may not be sufficiently off-putting to people, so you could also mutter at them. Man, I'm going to be on the lookout for the caption writers at Apple at the Apple Insider. So I'm trying to think, and I need this creative set of brains. How could this be helpful for folks who are deaf? Is there some way that my lips can be read and that be communicated to someone else with a Vision Pro headset on?
Don't know.
Well, I mean, if it can generate closed captioning, that would do it.
Okay.
Especially if you're not using any sound.
Yeah. I guess you wouldn't need just the lip movement already. You already have a way to automatically capture and translate audio into text, which then makes it available to folks who are deaf. I'm just trying to think of some accessibility purpose for...
Well, you know, think of the times where you're getting assistance from a remote person about an environment, and they're trying to tell you what you're seeing, and you need to give some response back. I guess you could type it, but if you have the option of typing it or mouthing the words and having that be a response, so you're not talking in a place where it's inappropriate to talk.
Okay, so I could use this while I'm sitting in the waiting room of my doctor's office just by moving my lips. That adds a certain amount of confidentiality to it, unless there are other
Yeah.
lip readers in the room. So using it in environments where you don't want to audibly speak out what you're saying.
Yeah, not because you're trying to keep it confidential, because that isn't, but because socially it's unacceptable for you to be making noise.
Oh,
So,
I
like
would
at a
insist this,
conference or something like that.
I would insist everybody wear them because there are so many people who, pet peeve, people who talk to their phones while they're holding their phone away from themselves. And we get to hear the other end of the conversation. It's like, this is my world too. It's not just your world. You're not in a bubble.
Oh, I
You know,
love I love that. I love it when somebody has the phone on speakerphone and they're talking. Well, it's like sitting, like on a outdoor terrace drinking a beer or something, listen to everybody else's conversations. There's so much gossip, and they're never really concerned about what the content of whatever it is. You find out about all of the, yeah, that's normal for that diaper. Don't worry about it. Blah blah blah. There's all kinds of great conversations. So evidently, it's not a pet peeve of mine, but or maybe I need more of a social life. I don't know.
well, for those of you who want to practice your lip reading or practice moving your lips, this patent is something that Apple just filed. Now, of course, because they, Eric, stop saying that. I can, yeah, you're messing with me like your microphones don't work. You know, this is making great audio for the podcast.
Yeah, but you're filling in the blank space, so I think it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I've got to do the social commentary while you're mocking it.
Narrate narrate
Yeah.
the video cast.
But we're not
Let's
letting
see.
you hear it, so well, it shouldn't irritate you.
Yeah, right.
No, it's visually, it's irritating me. It's hurting my eyes.
Yeah.
We're going to go to a couple of articles that were related to production and the availability. And first, this one that was actually in PubMed that came out: virtual ultrasound guided central vascular access using Apple Vision Pro. And this is a scientific research article, an evaluation and proof of concept. So the idea that central venous catheters insertions are a performed procedure that requires precise eye-hand or hand-eye coordination and image interpretation. Despite ultrasound guidance being the standard of care, some problems, especially in ergonomics, like misalignment between the ultrasound monitors and the puncture site, remain a challenge. This study aimed to assess the integration of real-time ultrasound imaging into the Apple Vision Pro headset for ultrasound guidance of CVC cannulation in a simulated environment. So, kind of cool that people are picking up and finding unique uses from a medical standpoint. Now, ironically, as I read this, in about a month, I will be going through a cannulation. So if somebody walks in wearing the headset, my question is not going to be, why are you wearing it? It's going to be, what movie are you watching while you're doing this? So yeah, I'll be getting a procedure done where they'll be guiding something up from my groin into my heart. So I hope, I don't know. There's part of me that would like to see the doctor walk in with a headset on, and another part of me it's like, nah,
Kinda just
let's not do that. We'll see.
Think of the
There was another.
animations they could put on the front screen, little googly eyes or little things, sparkler things going on.
Yeah, I hope I'm in so much twilight. Actually, I don't know if I'll be completely under, but I hope I'm in so much twilight that I don't get to see the fun animations. So, an article that I put in because I saw it and it was such a nice statement about heartfelt learning experience in medicine through the blended reality with Apple Vision Pro. And this is by someone in the medical field who's starting to talk about how this is Apple Vision Pro provides some really interesting opportunities. Jig Space, which is a app that we've talked about that is for commercial development. The Heart Stent app is in Jig Space, and they show some potential images of that. And why this approach is important, and then just reflections from it. So it was a nice article, kind of again indicating the medical possibilities for use with Vision Pro. And then this article I thought was also kind of a heartfelt article. Why Apple Vision Pro finally has the content library it deserves. It came out a couple of days ago. It is in mixed.reality.news. And it does a nice job of talking about how Apple Vision Pro has advanced in its content. And it hasn't been fast enough for a lot of folks, but here's the thing for Dave. The growing catalog now includes everything from Metallica concerts to NBA All-Star coverage. Everyone complained about the lack of Netflix and YouTube. Apple's immersive video delivers 180-degree stereoscopic video at 90 frames per second, approximately 5 times more pixels than standard video at 30 times the frame rate, or 3 times the frame rate, then doubled because it's stereoscopic. Why the drought might be actually ending. Spatial Gallery, that's another interesting place to go, where you're going to get new content throughout that period of time. If you want to look at weekly, Eric, do they update stuff in Spatial Gallery?
Yep. Yes. I can't remember if it's Thursday or Friday.
Just a nice article talking about we're sort of at the cliff where things are starting to happen.
Yeah, the part I really liked was they were talking about a return rate that's under 1%, and that 20 to 30% of the returns were from initial setup issues, not being unhappy with it. So, if
Are
they
you
can
talking
fix
about the
comfort,
the Black Magic cameras, or what are you talking about when you talk about design rate?
Vision Pro.
no, I'm talking
Oh,
about the content library. At the bottom of it, it talks about the return rate on the Vision Pro.
yeah.
Vision Pro itself.
I hadn't seen anything what this means for early adopters and fence sitters, that second paragraph.
Okay, yeah.
And I hadn't seen anybody else write about the return rate.
Yeah, I'm for listeners, I'm going to quote this from the article that Eric pointed out. The return rate reportedly sits under 1%. You know, initially everybody was returning their Vision Pros. Remember that when it first came out, that people were just getting them and returning them in hordes, and it was going to be a failure. But the return rate reportedly sits under 1%. About 20 to 30% of the returns of that 1% comes from setup issues, not dissatisfaction. While Apple shipped 2 pretty garbage headbands, for weight distribution. The R1 chip processing sensor data every 20 milliseconds significantly reduces motion sickness compared to other headsets, making longer content consumption sessions more viable. So interesting. I'm glad you pointed that out. An interesting piece here where they're creating support for the fact that this medium, and particularly this headset and the media that comes with it, is pretty cool and pretty effective.
Just to go back.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Just go back on the comments about YouTube and Netflix. That isn't Apple's choice. I mean, both those services don't want to create an app, so
Right.
you can do it on the web, but it's not going to be a good experience. So I don't foresee that being the issue. But the other thing I'll add is returns. There had been sometimes this people just they got by remorse and decided it was too expensive. That could be a reason to return as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that might have been earlier on. You know, there were a lot of people that were taking them out for 2 weeks so they could do YouTube reviews on them. And then that filtered into, see, everybody's dissatisfied with it. No, these are just folks who are kind of taking advantage of the return policies with Apple so they can do their clickbait stuff. So, yeah, I agree with you. I saw an interesting, had YouTube going, and after I record these, the YouTube goes from our show, the live stream, which I have on the screen on the right, and A New World is happening, is joined us, and we've got some other folks. We got 5 watching now in the live stream chat room. But when that shuts off, it switches into whatever's going to show up. I don't know why. It must use my what I've looked at before to throw things up on the screen. But there was a window that came up. Somebody did and I was going to include it, but I generally don't like to include these things. Someone said, hey, Netflix, these are the top 10 shows right now that Apple has surpassed you with in 2025.
Yeah.
And, and it had Slow Horses, and it had the golfing one, and it had Murderbot. Yeah, it had all those great shows listed in there. So I think again, Apple is providing some great content.
Oh, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's another one. I was underwhelmed by this, but I'll show it anyways. Guy takes his headset outside and sets up an environment using my front lawn as a playing field for Apple Vision Pro.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay. But basically what we're seeing is a black screen of you shooting things. There's no pass-through on whatever he's doing with it.
But it keeps the neighbors entertained.
Yeah, there's probably people taking video of him. Oh, a little bit of the pass-through. As he turned his head, he apparently got too close to his house from the front lawn. And then, yeah. And this one, Eric, you put out there, and I call it stupid AVP tricks.
It still looked interesting.
Okay, talk about.
I'm not sure I could recommend.
I dyed my Vision Pro.
Well, they were showing. Yeah. There's somebody who didn't like, white. So they wanted a different color, and Apple doesn't ship them in different colors. And, you can pretty much dye anything as long as you kind of have a hint of what the material is. They do suggest testing it on an out-of-the-way spot and, not to actually immerse the device, but, the light shield, you can pull that off separately, and if you're careful about the cable, the battery cable, it's kind of doable. I'm not entirely sure I'm comfortable taking something this expensive and dyeing it. However, I thought it looked cool. So it's worth watching the video of what somebody else did.
Well, you can't watch the video because the
And it
original
might get
poster
more.
deleted. I'm looking at the Reddit link that I have, and it says, "Sorry, the post was deleted by the person who originally posted it." So, just the idea that
Yeah, well, there were. I think they could have picked maybe a different color because there was one comment from 10 days ago about what his girlfriend said it reminded her of that perhaps got the video taken down. However, I still think it looked cool.
is
I
there any
think
way that
I
you can
kind of like
tell
to
us
have a
what that
bright
comment
tone.
was? Is there any way that you can?
Yeah, there is.
What did the girlfriend say it looked like?
Is it PG?
Hang on a minute. Yeah, yeah, there's nothing really wrong with it. Let's see. Do we have comments? Yeah, we do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to read that.
Okay.
Or not.
Yeah. So Eric has just passed something on to me to make it my responsibility. And let me tell you a little bit about. Let me tell you a little bit about the change that women go through. And as they develop, every 28 days they get a very special visitor, and that visitor, they have medical absorption devices that can be used devices, yeah, that can be used to take care of that monthly visitor. And apparently the girlfriend said it kind of looked like one of those used devices. So I think that's about as PG as I can get. How'd I do, guys?
Yeah, I think that what she was trying to say is you shouldn't dye it blue because everybody knows from the ads that is a blue color that shows up on those pads.
Oh, okay. Well,
right?
Yeah.
Well,
so do we have another story?
Quick. Do we have another story? Yeah, we're going to the apps.
Time, right?
Yeah, we don't want to run out of time. But we got the apps. Here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the apps. And the app is Brick Break AR. Have y'all tried this? I went in and tried it today.
How was it? I have not tried it.
I'm not a really good gamer. So one of the nice things, and you can see if you go to the link, and we'll have the link in the show notes, you can see some of the screenshots of it.
Breakout.
It's Breakout, yeah. It's like what we remember from the days with the little paddle that goes back and forth and pushes the ball up to eliminate all the bricks that are in it. I set it on easy, and I got through 3 sets of bricks, which for me would be considered a gaming miracle. I enjoyed it. I think it was a fine little game to have and play with. I guess I would need to spend more time with it to be able to get more proficient with it, like any of the games that that are put in front of me. To become proficient with it, to kind of move through multiple levels. I will tell you, it was very nice that when I got through my 3, they told me it was a new high score, and don't you want to post? I mean, I felt good about my probably minimal success with it. So in that way, it's very cool. You turn
Worth
it
the
on.
$2.
What'd you say? Worth the $2?
Worth
Yeah.
worth the $2.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's functions. I mean, which is different than some of these other apps that we get. It's like, I
Yeah.
can't get this thing to function for for the $6 that I paid for it. Or it's not smooth. This actually, the action is pretty smooth on it. You have to tap your fingers to get the release of the dot, and then you have to grab the sliding bar to move it back and forth. And so it takes some muscle learning to know how to start a new round with this, but I found it pretty entertaining. Now, unfortunately, I do most of my Apple Vision Pro stuff in this small little room that's my office, and that's going to affect the next one that we'll talk about. But I enjoyed this. I think I'd enjoy it more downstairs in my living room where there's a little more space. But yeah, I found this on the Reddit subreddit for Apple Vision Pro, and I mentioned to Austin Beck, who posted on there, that we would take a look at it. And I was going to get to it last week, but it's pretty. I mean, it's a nice, solid looking sort of visual that you have with it. So I'd say it's worth the $2. And if you want some retro gaming, this is a good start for it. Okay, this one's yours, Eric, I think. Did you put Doggy Dogfight up? I think you sent it to me in a...
Huh. Did I play? That looks
Wasn't me.
vaguely familiar. Did I send that to you a while ago? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you sent it to me a
It's
couple
been a
weeks
while
ago.
since I played with it, but it was actually fun. I have bad control, but yeah. Actually, I enjoyed this one. Did you get a chance to play it at all?
Yeah, I got a chance to play it just today. And of course, the problem was it was in this small room. So
Oh, yeah. You need
it
some
means
space.
I didn't have a lot of time to make flight corrections. And the way this works is your left hand has a series of whatever fingers you tap will, send out bullets or eject you or whatever from the plane. And so it
Oh,
has actions,
yeah.
has engagement actions with other planes. And your right hand is what controls the attitude of the plane and where you're going to take your turns and what you're going to do. And my plane smashed into my wall like 4 times before I could finally figure out how to turn the plane. And it gives you, no, you need to put your hand flat, and it gives you some warnings, but all of that's happening so fast in a small room. So get a large room to do this in, because you'll be able to learn and make movements. I was
Yeah.
able to, then bank the plane, but then once I banked it, it was behind me, and I couldn't figure out how to bring it back out in front of me, so it smashed into the television that I have to the left of me. It was the
Yeah, if you
fun.
can
I mean,
yeah. If you can get an area that's got height, you can fly upwards and do loop to loops and stuff, and then you can kind of get more time to control it before it hits anything. So maybe like have coffee outside.
yeah, maybe on my front lawn like the other guy did.
Yeah.
The fun part, it's a fun game. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of happiness in the game, if you want to say it that
Yes.
way.
Yes.
So, the music is like very cool. They have a kind of jazzy kind of setup music for it. And so it's got a lot of that enjoyment and immersive enjoyment from sound and what else happens. It's cute because when your plane runs into a wall, you eject, or the little U ejects, and it turns in. You're out with a parachute and you float down. So there's some fun little animations in this that make it enjoyable, even if you're lousy at it like me. So it is Doggy Dogfight, and it's $7
For $7.
for $7. Yeah, and it's pretty cool.
It was fun.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's in that purpose too.
yeah. All right, so that wraps the show. Anything else to say, guys?
Oh, I just had one thing, and more of it was
Oh, I'm seeing. Yeah, I'm seeing that.
a non recommendation. So there's an app called Splash Reader that showed up recently as recent apps. It's actually existed for like a year or so. It's got a neat description. The pictures are really neat. It's supposed to be a wide frame comic book reader. It looks awesome. I was totally not successful at getting anything to work. Like I had to pay for the app. Okay, and then I paid for some content, still didn't work. It's possible that it's the beta software I'm running and it needs an update, but since half the reviews were glowing reviews and the later reviews were it didn't really work very well, I just thought I would sort of warn people off of it before they spent their money. Give it a little more time to mature.
Yeah,
and I did report my problem to see if maybe they could fix it. And if they do, I will reevaluate it.
Yeah, I looked at this as a possibility to throw in because I went into, once I got the new beta on, I started looking in the apps to see if there was anything else. And I thought, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah. No.
And there was something about the read-in that said, we've got enough. I'm not sure I want to make the investment at this point. And there was some confusion. I think this app also is, it's not just a Vision Pro app. I think it's on, oh no, this app is only available on Apple Vision Pro. So
yeah, which is what made it interesting is it had like a wide format, 2-page wide display of comic.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be really good. And, I haven't totally given up yet, but it's not worth spending any money on yet.
Are either of you comic book readers?
Nah. No, I'm not.
Not so much.
Just a little occasionally.
I always
I have
felt
like
that
one or two series.
Yeah, I always felt I've got some stuff from Janet's store from Macstock that she was kind enough to pass on to me and say, this you might like. And yes, I have liked them. But, I never got into the Marvel series and all that stuff that some folks get into. And I told myself that maybe I should do that someday and just have not jumped in with it. But yeah, interesting stuff. Okay, Dave, anything else to say?
One other thing
No.
I was going to say one other thing was Splash Reader. While I didn't like it, it had like 6 immersive environments, all of them generated with AI. And they didn't look horrible, but just having an environment without the book part wasn't worth it. But it was an interesting mix of technologies, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, I am really done this time.
Okay, so
Sorry, Dave.
Where can we find you, Eric?
Well, I'm no longer in the Goat Barn at the State Fair, so I guess on Mastodon at EA Bolden at mas.to.
All right.
And then, of course, Monday nights here on Vision Profiles, Tuesdays on Mac Voices, and Thursdays, capping off the week on In Touch with iOS, covering all of the iOSs throughout the week.
Covering all your OSs. Dave, what about you?
Yeah. Thanks as always for having me, Marty and Eric. You can find me at In Touch with iOS, intouchwithios.com. YouTube channel is youtube.com/intouchwithios. We record Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel. You can also find me on Tuesday nights on Mac Voices Live. And you can also find me on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network occasionally on Fridays. And on Mastodon and Blue Sky, I'm at DaveG65.
And for me, you can find me at Gencius, Gencius, at mastodon.social, also Gencius at Blue Sky. If you want to see other projects that I'm involved in, I do mention Dave's show and Chuck's show in there on the website, thepodtalk.net. And so here on Mondays, Chuck Joyner's show, Mac Voices on Tuesdays. Other projects I've got going on Wednesdays and other days of the weeks in terms of podcasts. And then Thursday with Dave on In Touch with iOS, occasionally Friday mornings when I'm quietly quitting my job. I show up at at the British Tech Network, the Mac Show. Other shows that I'm involved in, I do one called Gear Up and Go with My Son. We just did an episode on watches, smart watches, and how we use them with traveling and such. So all of that you can find out about at thepodtalk.net. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We'd love to hear from our listeners, and if you have ideas or want to join an episode, email us at thepodtalknetwork@gmail.com. Our bumper music is Free Jazzy by Steve Combs, courtesy of the Free Music Archive. Learn more about Vision Profiles podcast at our website, thepodtalk.net. Spread the word to other visionaries. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.